Every day, billions of people earn money, spend money, save money, and trade with money, believing it to be a neutral tool that simply keeps the world moving. But what if that money is not as neutral as it seems? What if the price of fuel in your city, the value of your savings, the rise and fall of your country's economy, and even the outcome of wars are quietly influenced by one country that controls the system behind global money? This is a story not about banks or numbers on a screen, but about power, invisible, silent, and deeply rooted in the modern world. When nations trade with each other, they don't just exchange goods. They rely on a single system, a trusted currency, and a financial structure that connects every corner of the planet. Over time, one country managed to place itself at the very center of this system, turning its currency into the backbone of global trade. Oil markets, international loans, and financial security. This control did not happen overnight, nor was it accidental. It was shaped by wars, economic decisions, global agreements, and moments of crises that redefined how the world measures value. In this video, we will uncover how one country came to dominate the world's money, why almost every nation depends on it, even when they don't want to, how this financial power is used as a tool of influence, and what could happen if the system begins to change. By the end, you may realize that money does not just buy goods. It shapes nations, controls futures, and quietly decides who holds power in the world. Money is far more than just the coins in your pocket or the numbers in your bank account. It is the language of trade, the glue that binds economies together, and the silent power behind every nation. When countries exchange goods from oil and technology to food and services, they rely on a currency that everyone trusts. This trust is what makes a currency global. Without it, trade would be chaotic, inefficient, and vulnerable to manipulation. The world's financial system is built around this idea. One trusted currency that acts as a universal standard, enabling nations to borrow, lend, and trade across borders. International banking, central banks, loans, and foreign reserves all depend on this trust. Some currencies, however, are more reliable than others. Historically, only a few nations have produced a currency considered strong and stable enough to act as a global reserve. Being the issuer of such a currency gives a country enormous leverage. It can borrow cheaply, influence international trade, and exert power without firing a single shot. Ordinary people rarely see this system at work, yet it affects them every day. The price of fuel, the cost of imported goods, the strength of their own national currency, even job security. All are influenced by the decisions made in central banks and financial institutions of this one dominant nation. By controlling the system behind global money, this country does not just participate in the world economy, it quietly shapes it, ensuring its influence is felt from the smallest village to the largest metropolis. The story of global money dominance begins in the aftermath of World War II. Europe lay in ruins, its economies shattered, while the United States emerged as an industrial and financial powerhouse. Amid the devastation, nations sought a stable and trusted currency to rebuild trade and trust in the global economy. In 1944, representatives from 44 countries met at Bretton Woods to create a system that could prevent future economic chaos. The US dollar became the backbone of this new system, tied directly to gold, giving it a reliability that no other currency could match at the time. Countries pegged their currencies to the dollar, using it for international trade, loans, and reserves. This was the moment the United States gained unmatched financial influence. Over time, the gold backing disappeared, but trust in the dollar remained. Its stability, liquidity, and global acceptance made it indispensable. The dollar became the standard currency for oil, international trade, and financial markets. Any fluctuation in its value rippled across the globe, affecting nations large and small. This dominance allowed the US to wield influence far beyond its borders. Sanctions, economic policies, and global trade decisions could now shape the fortunes of other nations simply by leveraging the power of the dollar. From New York to Beijing, the greenback became synonymous with economic authority. Its rise is not just a financial story, but a tale of strategy, diplomacy, and the creation of a system that continues to dominate the modern world. With the dollar at the center of global trade, the United States gained a tool of power that extended far beyond simple economics. Control over the currency allowed the US to influence global events without deploying armies or signing treaties. Nations that depended on the dollar for trade, oil, and loans became vulnerable to policy changes. interest rate adjustments, and financial sanctions. The petrodollar system, established in the 1970s, further strengthened this influence by ensuring that global oil sales were conducted in dollars. Suddenly, energy markets, financial reserves, and national economies were all tied to one nation's currency. This power is subtle, but absolute. When the US imposes sanctions, blocks access to its financial system, or changes interest rates, the effects ripple globally. Economies can wobble, currencies can lose value, and nations are forced to adjust their policies to maintain access to the system. Even international crises, from wars to political conflicts, can be influenced by financial pressure alone. The system works invisibly but decisively. Ordinary citizens may never realize how their daily lives, the cost of groceries, gas, or imports, are linked to the decisions made thousands of miles away in central banks and financial institutions. Being the country that controls global money is more than wealth. It is influence, security, and strategic leverage. It ensures that even without a single shot fired, one nation can affect the course of history, shape alliances, and hold power over the economic fate of the entire world. Despite the dominance of the dollar, the system is not unchallenged. Over the last 2 decades, several countries have attempted to reduce their dependence on the US currency. China, Russia, and members of the BRICS alliance have explored alternative payment systems, digital currencies, and bilateral trade agreements to bypass the dollar. The rise of cryptocurrencies adds another layer of complexity, offering the promise of decentralized finance that could weaken traditional control. However, replacing the dollar is not simple. It requires global trust, liquidity, and decades of economic stability, something that no other currency has yet achieved. Even as these alternatives emerge, the greenback's influence remains unparalleled. Its integration into trade, banking, and reserves is too deep to unravel quickly. The future, however, is uncertain. Economic crises, political shifts, and technological innovations could gradually reshape the global monetary landscape. A sudden collapse or decline in the dollar's value could trigger global chaos, affecting every economy and individual reliant on the system. While no nation is invincible, the lessons of history showed that control over money is control over influence, security, and strategy. In a world where wealth and power are inseparable, the country that controls the world, as money continues to shape the present, and will play a decisive role in determining the future. For ordinary people, understanding this system is not just about finance. It is about recognizing the invisible forces that govern global politics, trade, and ultimately, their own lives. The story of global money is not just about coins, notes, or digital numbers. It is about power, influence, and control that shapes the world in ways most people never see. The country that controls the world's currency doesn't simply participate in the global economy. It silently directs it, influencing trade, politics, and even the lives of billions of people across the planet. Its power is invisible yet absolute, felt in the rise and fall of economies, the cost of everyday goods, and the fortunes of nations. Yet, even this dominance faces challenges, from alternative currencies to emerging technologies, from shifting alliances to the unpredictable forces of global markets. The future of money is uncertain, but one truth remains clear. Whoever controls the system behind global money holds more than wealth. They hold influence over the very course of history. And while ordinary people may never hold the keys to this system, understanding it gives insight into how our world truly functions, reminding us that money is never just money. It is power, strategy, and the invisible force that quietly shapes the lives of everyone on Earth.